Hello and welcome to day 4 of the playoff segment here. Elimination best of fives in sight. And Genji going to be facing off against Cloud9 after Cloud9 made a miraculous run through the group's gauntlet to make it here. And they're going to be facing off against the, third seed from the LCK. Genji or Cloud9 are kind of, it's a coin toss talking to a lot of analysts or listening to a lot of analysts and a lot of talk shows. It's kind of up in the air who's going to take this one, because any day of the week, either of these teams could truly win, especially if Cloud9 maintain the form that we saw when they made it through groups last week, I believe. So let's jump on into this draft right now. TF, also permaban out of here. Irelia, still being threatened, still apparently given a lot of, at least being given a bit of initial agency, and that's going to be a... Alright, Felios gets locked in for ruler over on Genji's side. Not the biggest surprise. Ziggs showing up this early in the draft is a little weird and a little bit of a sack. I think they're trying to really unlock Vulcan, given like a Leona. I would actually expect like a Leona or get the Rakan early on, which would really give Vulcan a lot of ability agency around the map. But they're just going straight into, okay, so C9 not holding out any stops here. The Yasuo gets locked in. This is getting crazy right now. And this Yasuo is going to Perks more likely than Fudge. Fudge, I think, could play it, but Fudge kind of goes to the Church of LS. I would not expect him to pilot this champion topside. Ooh, this is getting so weird. This is getting really crazy. Genji is locked in like Xin Zhao and Lulu. Not the craziest thing in the world. The Enchanter actually ends up being a higher priority than the Thresh so far, and at least how the drafting metas have developed. The Rakan getting banned out, I do appreciate that, as it was noted by me that it was going to probably be a major prio pick for Vulcan, especially if they're going to give this Ziggs over to Sven. The set is going to be blocked out by C9, so getting rid of, I guess, any, matchups that could really mess up or interrupt or give Perks a run for his money, and also probably like help with whatever Fudge is going to pick, because right now it feels like C9 actually are just following a plan and aren't exactly reacting at all to what Genji are drafting. Because right now they've got themselves set up for a big wombo combo batch of fun here in our game 1 here, which I do like. I do like C9 kind of throwing down the gauntlet, throwing in some interesting picks here, getting creative, and saying like, hey, we're gonna have currently like all 4 of these ultimates, all these players, all these champions have the ability to proc Last Breath from the Yasuo to put him online, to get him into that fight, get him activated. So this is looking really potent. It just also could fall really flat. The best consolation prize would be Sven on the Ziggs would be really good at wave clearing and stalling the game out to help his team that like buy time for C9 to get an opportunity or to bridge any of the goal differences. But Genji on the other side, the Aatrox pickup for Rascal, okay. So Genji with a very interesting reaction. The Lulu and the Aphelios are definitely going to go bot side. That's not the biggest surprise in the world. Alright, Blabber's picking up the Jarvan, not the... Wait, is this going to be Jarvan top side? Okay. So, Genji are going to put this Ken in either mid lane or top lane. Xin Zhao's clearly going in the jungle. Bot lane support are pretty clear. But BDD is going to pick up the Aatrox to face into Perks, which sounds very interesting. It does make BDD a lot more bruisery, much more tankier, and probably much more able to survive the Yasuo, at least if all things are even. But this is a very interesting draft, very quick draft out from C9 and Genji. And now Cloud9 are actually, okay, so they did lock in the J4. It's going to go up to Fudge top side. It can kind of end up being a toss pick, especially with that ranged melee matchup. J4 into Kennen. I would expect Fudge to get quite punished in this matchup and he could go down to like 20 CS and still be quite relevant. Jarvan, even with the gold income, can build faster and be a better tank and maybe a better bruiser. But this game is looking very... This game is shaping up to be quite the opening banger for this best of 5 here. Genji bringing out a little bit of a wrinkle with the Aatrox mid, but I think they're just reacting to perks on this Yasuo, which shouldn't be that big of a surprise for anyone on account of I think he also did pilot Yasuo bot side when he was an AD carry over on G2 a few times. But I really love that G2 or Cloud9, sorry, this is how quickly the narratives of Perks' long time standing org invade the mind. But this just means Cloud9. Like so if we're thinking about this, Cloud9 are going to want to have a very much more topside mid lane focus in their play, leaving Ziggs kind of isolated and alone and letting Vulcan on this Nautilus just go around, start fights, get perks activated, get perks ahead. Should be a recipe for success in this game. Or Gen G on the other side, kind of playing a little bit more reserved. I think they'd be better off with just playing Peel. While Rascal can be a very good like flank engage with his Maelstrom and like maybe a flash like Hextech Rocket Belt, Maelstrom combo could be pretty good engage. Outside of that, it's only really gonna be Clid for like when it becomes lightning just to like get into a fight. So Gen G, much more an appealing capacity. C9 though with plenty of engage opportunities from very high execution demands from Blabber with like a flash kick. But Fudge has an easy time flag drag in, same with the hooks from Vulcan or the depth charges. So C9 with kind of a lot of agency in this game, a lot of ability to start fights, pick fights, get skirmishes, pick people off. There a lot of ability here for C9. This is actually looking really exciting, and I would kind of want to put, if C9 can get some activity, get some kills on the board early on in this game, I would definitely put this game in their favor. Unfortunately, they are on a timer while Perks does scale quite well on the Yasuo. The rest of the team kind of scales less than ideal. Sven can put out great damage, but it's not near as reliable because the elephant in the room for this game is going to be the Aphelios on Ruler. And while Ruler is a pretty good average LCK, a pretty good AD carry, it's gonna be pretty much, he's the insurance policy for Gen G. It's sort of like the run of it, and I think C9 is going to go right on into this fight here. It's not going to be the best trade of health, life, kind of losing his health, but for double of what Vulcan and Sven took. So a little too overeager there from the Cloud9 bot lane. And they're still going into this. Vulcan down to 200 health, and I think, he misses the hooker for the engage. I think he's going to be dead here. I think he hooked the wrong way, and he's dead. Auto attack out. First blood goes over to life here, and that is a massive misplay by Vulcan. I don't know what he was clicking towards or where he had his cursor, but I think he was trying to hook himself away from danger and not back in onto Ruler because like they're level 1s. They're not going to win that extended trade. They're not gonna. That was weird. That was very weird. But Fudge here is actually preparing himself to actually get a solo kill on Rascal. He's gonna follow up there, and there's his first kill. 300 gold over to Fudge here. Fudge doing great work here. Top side. Looks like he's gonna back off. It could be teleport used by both. Yep, good read there, Fudge. Get out. Don't let anyone think that there's gonna be a chance otherwise. All right, so very very exciting start to this game here. Gen G, kind of holding their own here. Bot side. I really want to see this because this is actually so weird. So this is where like C9's bot lane should kind of like give this up. I don't know why they keep kind of going on to this, but Vulcan gets brought to below half health, and I don't understand that going. I think they're just trying to like get way more damage than what Sven or Vulcan I think could even put out onto Ruler. I really feel like that was an overestimation because even if you land that hook, I just don't believe that there was enough damage in their coffers. In what they had, they were still just level 1. I just didn't think it was going to be enough. So a little bit of a blunder bot side. We saw that earlier in the tournament with Sven on his Lucian looking a little silly, but we can there's still time. There's still chances to pull this one around, pull it back into control here. It's not like mid lane is going all too well, and cross map kind of a cross map play. Fudge did take out Rascal in a one-on-one. So things are still looking up and optimal. Junglers look to have just handshaken. They agree, just simple clear from blue buffs to red buffs. Looks like, yep, Clid's finishing up his Krugs right now. Liber with a slightly faster finish is going to be able to actually get back on the map much more swiftly. Maybe I'll look for a play, kind of heading mid right now, just waiting to see what's going to happen in the side lanes. And it looks like Vulcan's also following him out for this as well, so we might see some early action, because as soon as, level 3 is on Vulcan. That's kind of all you're really looking for, and I think we're looking for like a Hextech Flash? Something weird out of Vulcan there. No, I think Vulcan might have actually avoided a lot of vision here. They'll know something is up. At least someone's over by that Scryer's Bloom. Alright, so begins the isolated, well, the experience for Zen in this match. Toss bombs, clear waves. GG easy. It's going to end up just being a PvE match this whole time. But I think from here, just we're all looking for just some more sort of action or just some sort of proactive play from Cloud9, because that's going to be like this, just the name of the game here. Maybe like waiting for like level 6 across the board. And meanwhile, Gen G are going to be pretty happy. Like if it's really on the onus on Cloud9 to make things happen, to get ahead in this game, to get these fights off, to keep the options open. And unfortunately, like bot lane's kind of like closed off from ever winning anything, but it's usually not the goal of Zig's Nautilus lane. Like Nautilus is much more of a skirmish team fight sort of champion, and this could be a pretty big engager. I think Blabber stepped out of the bush and maybe was not aware of it. It's gonna give over this crab. Flash used by Clay to dodge the hook, and that's a pretty good start here. Jungler flash down. It's gonna mean Fudge is gonna have a pretty safe time until he gets his flash back up. Wave crashing, so just getting an easy shove in there for him. And that's pretty good stuff. So let's see if C9 can do anything with that right now. Flash is still down on Rascal, so could look for a play there topside. Probably in the next minute is about the best timing for it right now. All right, Blabber has made it over to this side of the map, but Fudge is nowhere near. Looks like he's just going to clear out some vision. Put down his own control ward. There's Fudge. I somehow didn't see him on the map. It looks like that wave's actually going to get soft frozen by Rascal. And Fudge is just going to back off, buy up, and bring himself on back. Alrighty. So let's get on to juggle proximity games right now. Fifth, so actually it looks like a duo proc, so it doesn't look like there's actually a lot of synergy here between Blabber and Vulcan. I will say it looks like it's a little bit... Didn't look near as good either for Life or Clid, and maybe like the champions they're playing is kind of equating to that's not as likely. Nautilus or Leona paired up with a jungler looking for trouble makes a lot more sense than like a enchanter like Lulu paired up with Aleeson. There's a lot of things that an enchanter can provide or help with, you know, provide shielding, heal, maybe boost some attack speed, but support's not usually the safe roaming around the map. And Perk's having a little bit of trouble here in mid lane. Blabber has arrived. He's going to try to bait out the situation, see if they can find an opening, but Clade is going to be up and available. Q lands, and Blabber's going to take it here. Just, I guess, asserting some dominant supports do arrive. And now comes, I think, the contest for the first Herald. It's up, alive and well. Blabber's going to finish those chickens, and looks like C9 are going to get first move on towards this Herald here. Fudge, having shoved his wave under Rascal's turret, is kind of means Fudge needs to get something needs to get done here right now, because well, actually, I think we're about to be entering a fight anyway. BD gets the double knock up on the third Q here. Now here comes the chase here. Kick away from Blabber may have actually saved the situation. A little damage over the wall from Rascal, but that's going to be first Herald there for Gen G for just a small exchange of damage here and a good knock up from BDD. And this early game is going to start getting away from C9 here. If they want to be able to actually get some of their combos off, Sven just sidestepping everything Ruler throws at him. Like... Well done. Well done there. Looks like Fudge might want to bait this one, or at least a challenge for it. This is going to be a teleport play here. Fudge actually going to have to use Flash to buy a timer, but Rascal's going to actually have his ultimate. He's going to only proc up onto Fudge. Fudge down there just 150 health, and the rest of BDD and Gen G are following him, and I don't think he's going to be able to get out of this one, and that's going to be a very unfortunate turn of events here. The teleport was from Sven and Perks, not just Sven, and not much is really going to come of it. So a kind of a misplay, like Fudge kind of baited himself on that situation. Because it doesn't look like, yeah, Perks is running Ignite. So your only teleports are like yourself and Sven. And it doesn't really seem or feel like C9 are really like, I don't know. I don't see why Ziggs should like be teleporting across the map for anything. If anything, well, the draft may actually suggest like it'd be more opportune and probably even easier to, you know, gank and give some resources topside towards Fudge on this Jarvan, you know, put down the Kennen, get the Jarvan even maybe in a damaged state so you can actually be like a really, really big threat for Ruler on the backline. But there's also sort of like the other countering point they can approach is that if they actually give a lot of priority, a lot of time, and they start really using this Ziggs, which sometimes we did not get to see in NA like we wanted to. The Ziggs can be the tower destroying character that, you know, people fight over heralds for. It just comes down to like how you use them, because Ziggs satchel pack can just get rid of like that last 10-20% of a turret, and you could be farming a lot of plates here, but the game plan for C9 just has not started out that way. Sven has been able to at least main like a respectable CS differential between him and Ruler, but the rest of C9 is having a pretty big problem, it seems, for finding the fights, finding the picks, and even getting good ganks off. Because like there's kind of a frustration, is like very little damage is being done by BDD. Flash hook, he's gonna be able to ult and actually just dash out. So BDD playing that smoothly, kind of reading the situation, I would say. And unfortunately, Vulcan's little flash or Hextech flash hook combo does not land. See quite a bit of fancy feet here. Does Ven earlier on kind of dodging everything that was thrown at him, and they were at BDD doing quite similarly. Let's see here from Brian Espinoza. Let's go C9. The faithful shall be rewarded. C9 fans since 2015. Genji's going home for the quarterfinals. Constellation prizes today. Big hopes there from Brian. Kind of as an NA hopeful I can really get behind that sentiment and really hope these guys bring it home, because it would probably be legendary for and it would further cement like Perks' status as one of the best players in the West, who have just consistently done this across like now multiple orgs, multiple roles, multiple regions. C9's been like the only North American team to make it out of groups in the Worlds, and it would actually be a testament as well to the org for just being able to find good talent, develop good talent, and get the talent functioning and executing and playing really well on in like the highest stakes stages in the world usually. So C9, major props for getting this far. We kind of expected them to get this at least this far with how good the team was from the earlier on parts of the year. Blabber is gonna get shielded up, but he's gonna go down here. Kill goes over to the Aphelios. That's going to be another kill being brought over. The counter punches here from Genji are not to be trifled with, and I think Perks is going to find himself in a heap of trouble. He's going to be dashing around here, but that's 4 dead on the side of Genji here. The dive from C9 goes awry. Ruler buying a bunch of time here with the Moonlight Vigil, and that's going to be a tough pill to swallow there for C9. I don't even think they got... So Perks did get his ult off a while ago on something. But that is a very rough thing to happen at 14 minutes into the game. If anything, it's going to actually set up Cloud9 to be in quite a bit of trouble for the rest of this game. This is looking like to be a 3-man dive. It just feels like maybe they're a little bit behind. Flash kick in from Blabber. He sticks around probably a little bit too long to get out damage, and it's just the last turret shot. Like, he doesn't track it very well. Perks at this point arrives and doesn't even win wall like Windwall's like I guess where he can keep himself safe, but Rascal is just gonna give him free access to the back line, the other squishies on C9, and it kind of washes the entire situation. This really puts Genji ahead and kind of puts C9 on the back foot for the rest of this game here. 4K gold lead for Genji, entering at the 15-minute mark. This is way less than ideal for C9 for at least game one and starting out this series. I think they still have enough tools, especially since there is still good CS numbers across the board. They just got to actually find like the right moment, the right fight. And now Clit going a little bit too far here. Vulcan going to get struck by the wind, becomes lightning, slowed for a bit, but that should be the end of that. Perks is about to go in here on to the cannon. Maelstrom's going to come out here. Super Mega Death Bomb. Doesn't find anything. And the second Herald now, I believe, goes over. Nope, that's Vulcan getting caught out. So Vulcan gets caught snooping, gets caught peeking, and I believe it was a Pixel Brush play there from Genji to secure that one. So we're going back to the need for information without the cost of your HP. Oh, it looks like they're the jump here. Two fights on two fronts here, but Blabber is going to go in once again here onto Ruler. And Ruler's trying to actually just take out Blabber, but it looks like there's been enough time. The Gore Drinker saves Blabber's life. Meanwhile, topside, looks like Perks and Fudge have gotten out, but that means this turret is going to be sacrificed. That's going to be a 2-for-none trade at this time. The Ziggs currently sitting on the Drake with Lee Sin, so at least getting that prize as well. Yep, Satchel to finish it off. And at least we're going to be able to keep the turret count, well, at least 3-1. And the Dragon like 2-0. Yeah.
When you approach Genji in this series as Cloud9, you have two options. One, you go what Mad Lions did and you play control mages, you play slow and you let Genji win the early game but fail in the mid game, and you outscale them and you punish them for their overextensions. Or you match them with fire.
Yeah, but that's not what we're seeing in this game here, Cage. Well, unfortunately, C9 apparently didn't take that same analysis of Genji's great struggle throughout the regular season and even through probably LCK playoffs, to where it's great early game, dog mid lane, and late game there's no chance for this team. And unfortunately, the Aphelios is on Ruler and not on Sven. It is, if there's some sort of like hypothesis or idea on Cloud9 that their comp outscales Genji, then I would just be calling them delusional. Because while the wait them for make a mistake kind of option is probably a very good strategy to run against Genji, it's not the one that Cloud9 is running. And if anything, Cloud9 are the ones that are going a little bit too far. Maelstrom's going to come in. It's going to be able to get the stuns off. Bear's going to go down. It's going to be a finish off. Shutdown gold going over to Blabber. It's 2 kills for him, 1 kill for Fudge so far. Perks now currently without a kill to his name so far in this game. But all this gold getting put into the jungle and into the top lane kind of begs the need, informs where the advantages and where sort of the playmaking should start or where it should come from. Because right now, at least at this point, they haven't really played like specifically towards Perk or Perks' lane. I believe punishing BDD would be quite a problem to have, especially if his ult is up. And especially how much like sustain and lifesteal Aatrox has built into his kit. So that's about where the run of things are right now. Item rundown. Ruler with his mythic already completed and his LDR. Just Leandri's completed for Sven so far. They've been able to stay pretty even. Turret money probably going over to Ruler is the tipping point. Good 20 CS lead for Perks right now, but 2-0-2 is BDD, and that kind of bodes against Perks' prospects. Even though I'd say right now the items are pretty even. I would say levels the same entirely across the board. I think Fudge is ahead by just a good little bit compared to Rascal. And now Fudge actually getting a little bit of attention topside here. No cross map options. First two Drakes missed this because they were doing it kind of more covertly than my attention could catch. But Cloud9 have also secured themselves the first two Drakes of this game here. It's going to be a Cloud Rift, Cloud Soul in this game, which I guess could bode well for them getting more fights with their ultimates. Unless, are we getting, is there, oh boy, that's some damage here right there. I think Gen G have actually kind of found a bit of sneaky in their talent pool, and they're just gonna actually run this Baron down like from spawn here. It's only from the spawn of it's only like 50 seconds in here. Control wards go down, and that's gonna actually delay and push Gen G off of that play. But I do like that play there from Gen G. It becomes quite a bit suspicious when all 5 team members are missing from the map. But they looks like they got like pretty close there. But good read from Cloud9. They sniff it out, they check it out, and Super Mega Inferno Bomb from Ziggs just to pressure them away, keep them away. And right now, it looks like we have a cross map here. C9 are going to go top side here to start and secure this turret. Blabber running shield out in the river. And this should mean bot lane will get pushed a bit. That should be actually Q for Perks to back off after this, just so he or Fudge could catch that bot side wave that BDD is pushing. Klid's going to pick up the Drake, and Lee Sin's just off in the jungle still farming. And of course, Kog'Maw is just literally like the doorstop for mid lane, since especially since mid lane turret has gone down here. Turret count still pretty even. I think it was a pretty decent gold trade option there from Cloud9. Nice, good little cute delay there from Sven using that little bit of lane vision to put Gen G off of their timing schedule, if you will. Alright, so we know Gen G are actually bold enough to take this Baron, especially when it's all dark and they think they can steal it. I think it's going to be much rougher than it was the first time they got really close, but they are going to have to probably just do a straight up regular 5v5 team fight, which, considering what pacing we are for items, I would seriously think that Ruler would be able to hold himself pretty well. But we will have to see what can come of it. Okay. Is there gonna be a trap here laid? Oh, and there's gonna be, yeah, Sven's wave clear is actually what's gonna elongate this game long enough so that Cloud9 can try to find something. It just also doesn't really favor, like later in the game favors Gen G maybe a little bit more than it does Cloud9, I'd say. That's going to be a big wave clear. That's going to be a hook on. It's going to actually try to get something done here. A little bit of displacement. Klid's going to go on up, but it looks like Blabber's still going to go down here. Fudge has arrived, but I don't think there's much else to really be done. It's going to be engagement. It's going to be a dead Ruler here. 2-4-1 is the trade right now. Her Blabber's death not in vain. Rascal is here. Flag and drag from Fudge is missed, but I think Ruler is I think Life is looking for it. They can actually put BDD. He's going to go all in on this here, and he could actually be super pugged up, but that's going to be a dead Life here. Fudge is like, I don't need to worry about the tank that is BDD, basically. I'm going to kill his backline. That's going to be an ace for Cloud9. 4 alive. Blabber will be up in 10 seconds. They should be able to take down this Baron here. No one's going to be alive in time to contest this on the side of Gen G. And C9, 4 minutes later, and they're like, you know what, we're going to take Baron here. In fact, we're going to take your whole life. So C9 with a breakneck opening right now. Yeah, yeah. So Casual actually just rounded up quite well. Comp that's on a timer now actually with the Breath of Life. Now it's on Cloud9. What can they actually get this done here? But this could be a great little piece here. Clid gets hooked up here. They go back in on Blabber, but Clid's like taking a lot of damage, and the Wild Growth has actually already been used at this point in the fight to keep Clid alive. Now it's time to turn on the 3 that are remaining. Rascal with Maelstrom up and available. I think there was a point where he was looking to try to get in here. He has his flash, but he kind of is ending up getting zoned out by this mine. And now BDD, once he's frontlining, Fudge is like, you know what? Forget that. Jumps in, gets the knockups and the damage out, and Perks is ready to follow that one up here. The follow-up Tornado to knock up Rascal and further prevent him from getting his Maelstrom up to really like try to turn that fight. Fantastic. Great target selection there from Cloud9's top laner and mid laner. And this should put them really, really in the driver's seat here. This should set them up to really start taking over the map, get themselves a few more turrets, and maybe even also just if they black out enough of the vision, they open up the opportunity for picks, for catches on players rotating incorrectly, or just being forced to just go find vision. Like forget like making mistakes. It's much more about like either forcing Gen G into their base or forcing them to make a scary decision and scary like face checking plays when leaving their base. And it looks like that window is going to be plenty enough to secure. Oh, it's so close. That is so close. That's depressingly close. And there we go here. Turret secured by Sven. And that'll be a 3-turret gold lead. A good 4K, basically. Red Bull Baron power play from the North American representatives. And Cloud9 in charge of this match here. It's kind of a great surprise. Kind of a great surprise. A really good start to this series here. This sets them up. Now they need to start finding their other options here. They're going to get their 3rd Drake on Cloud9, so going to set themselves up for Soul. Clid doesn't look like he's going to have a chance to say much about it here. Wave clear from Sven, ever present and not going anywhere. And that should mean that this mid turret is still going to be up and alive. Yep. But three items still available there on Sven. There's a lot more, as we were saying, consistency and consistent damage coming out from the affiliates. But it looks like we're actually going to have a reach in, and that's going to be Clid going into a triple knockup with the Wild Growth. Vulcan's gone golden, but I think he's still going to go down, and Maelstrom in to confirm it. Now they're just going to jump in, blow up Rascal, but this turn here is going to be insane. The Infernum from Aphelios is massive, and that's going to be a dead C9 right now. Fudge is just trying to actually flag, drag, and Cataclysm his way out of it. It's just Blabber and Sven and Fudge alive. I really like that turn onto Rascal to eliminate him, but Ruler is just far too prepared to just throw down his damage. He has 3 items. He is activated, and he is scary. And if C9 want to win any future fights, they may be forced to focus on Ruler first. And if they cannot kill him, if the Wild Growth, if the shields, if the peel is there, we may find ourselves at the ultimate impasse here in this first game, where Cloud9 just will not and do not have what it takes to win the fights again. As soon as the hook finishes, Everyone's going in with their ultimates and just waiting for him to get up, just waiting for him to rear his head. And while that's a really good engage there, just all the damage that was coming out from Clid and particularly from Ruler was absolutely ridiculous.
And both the way both these comps work is they want to run forwards. The second either of these comps is running backwards, they've already lost the fight. Jarvan, Lee Sin, Yasuo have to go in, and Aphelios wants to be able to walk up with Kennen and start the damage. So whoever finds the first engage, it feels like if they can single out one target, they should be able to push forwards.
They should be able to do that, but unfortunately, like, oh man, they did get Vulcan in the last one, so the theory still stands. This is where we go back to like what C9 had after getting that Baron. They had the vision control. They still have that bot side vision control quite well, and Perk's not too comfortable going any further than where the tier 1 was, but definitely sending waves off bot side, forcing BDD to come back and answer them. Get rid of the teleport options because last thing you want is Rascal with his Storm up and available, running at your backline. Sven has decent peel and a lot of damage to provide and a little bit of slows, but that cannon is still super scary.
But I think C9 are in a little bit of a driver's seat right here. They have the push in mid and they have control around the Baron. 1 minute's time, they have a Cloud Soul available to them. So that will last for the entire game, and having that on things like Yasuo and Ziggs can really help in terms of gap closing with the immobile carries of Gen.
Yeah, all these buffs are great and all for C9, but they have yet to actually have. They need another wipe. They need another team fight wipe if they're going to be able to actually go across this map and even start getting inhibitors. They need to start getting better map pressure, kind of all together. The waves right now looks like bot side is moving in Cloud9's favor. Top side not so much. Looks like Rascal actually had just visited that, and BD is going to find Fudge. Fudge will be forced to escape into the Dragon's Pit. Oh, Clid, I think you're going to be in trouble here. It looks like Fudge is able to escape here, so Clid as well. So 2 great escapes from the jungler and top lane. It's going to be a go in here flash. Oh boy, it's going to be a flag and drag here. Clay gets knocked up, but there's going to be an engage there. Perk's not following it, and I'm wondering what else we're really looking for here. Chan's going to bring Fudge back center here. Clid's still super low here, and that's a decent trade. That's a decent engage. He has to back right now, but that means effectively no jungler for probably about 30-40 minutes, and Perks is going to make sure that's the case here. He's going to actually just engage onto him, but it might actually cost him his life. He's going to start dashing away here. Ruler putting out insane damage. He's just going to take Perks out. They have to turn. They have to take this right now. Clid's going to start healing up on this. Fudge has already started here. I think they're going to be able to get this Cloud Soul, actually, but Baron is going to be on the table, I think, for Gen G. They're going to shove mid. They want to get this mid turret down. They have not been able to get it, but the bombs are going to come through, and they're just going to face tank it, and Ruler is so scary right now. 3.5 items on this Aphelios. Red and white gun. That is not the combo you want to fight into. Ruler is going to be set up for so much damage here. Here comes the red procs. He has his smite available. So waiting for the next one. Fudge trying to make his way over, trying to find what he can see. BDD playing screening, but not towards where the other 3 members are. It's going to be sight. Blabber's going to go in here. It's actually going to get secured by Clid. I don't even know how that happened here. BDD not able to find anything else off the back of that, but that is second Baron going over to Gen G, and this game is looking like looking very difficult for Cloud9 to recover from. Oh, just as he's away, man. Just on the edge of his smite range, Clid secures it. Panic smite perfection from the LCK representative. All right, so C9, though, do have the permanent buff here. If they can actually hold this one out and not give away too much, Perks isn't going into any more one-way trips. There's still some hope here for C9. They just need to get Ruler. They just need to find that access point, that knock-up that puts Ruler in the crosshairs of Perks and Fudge and Blabber. Yep, all about that burst damage. You gotta get through life and Ruler, whatever health pools have been built up. And luckily, like, Ruler does not have shield bow, otherwise he would basically be tank Aphelios with what life can put into him, with the wild growth and with the help picks. BDD, yep, we're gonna have to leave that one. So there comes the bomb from Zen. While he's trying to actually keep mid cleared out. Yep, C9's still ready for a big fight here with these stopwatches up and available. So your Guardian Angels were being noted, as well as 2 stopwatches on the side of Gen G. It's just Clit actually right now with the Guardian Angel. Look like you got tired of that, but it's going to be an isolation, and that's going to be a pretty big struggle here. Golden moment for BDD. He's going to get kicked out here. Shield's going to get proctored from the stair stage. He's going to use the Gore Drinker, but it's going to take a long time here, and it might end up being a dead BDD traded out for an inhibitor at this point. So BDD taking 5 years to go down here, and that's more than enough time for Gen G to start chunking out this bot side turret. But I think they're scared of a TP flank from Fudge or someone. That's going to be the inhibitor. Oh, they're going to jump on here. Sven's going to be in trouble here. He's going to get jumped on here. Maelstrom out from Rascal. He's buying so much time here. He's going to be able to go golden just to actually buy even more space and more time for Ruler to step forward here. This inhib's going to go down here, but will there be anything else for it? Perks is arriving here. Ultimate available, but I don't think they actually going to want to go for this. So inhib goes down here. Bot inhib in C9's jungle. It's going to be a good setup for the Baron. That'll be up in 240, but also inhib pressure during Elder Drake can also mean quite a lot here. If Gen G can actually, like, when they've got to escape, but Gen G are with a great strategic advantage here. Perks just baiting this out, just making them waste time. Okay. So the fun thing that Gen G actually have in their pocket right now is that they can delay C9 and draw C9's attention to probably whichever buff that they're at, because C9 just don't have the consistent, like, damage in this comp to call sort of Gen G on their bluff. And it kind of ends up being a question usually of what is desired more, the fighting and execution quality of the Elder Drake, or, you know, the Baron that gives empowered minions. Yes. Well, normally what we actually end up seeing is that they'll at least the team that's in charge will actually leave one player bot side to, like, take out like regular Drakes. But what's going to be the decision for which buff is going to be prioritized here by, frankly, Gen G, because Gen G are kind of the ones making the decisions, and C9 are kind of living in their world. Alrighty, yep, green and white guns here for Ruler. That is objective taking. Gun combos. Now, what is going to happen here? Rotations on down here. I think they can actually just let Ruler. He doesn't have any real, like, lifesteal in his build, so he might not be able to actually, like, solo kill the Elder Drake, because it's much easier to take the Elder Drake than it is to take the Baron. And here comes all the wave clears. So Gen G not going to be able to actually get much else going here. Fudge trying to find an opportunity here. He's got to be able to get the flag and drag out. Good buffer. That almost got scary. Perks might be in a little bit of trouble. Nope, and there's gonna be, oh boy, Elder's been started. It's down. It's gone. There's nothing to be done here. Huge ult, and it almost gets stolen by Sven. That was so close there. Secured by Clid. And now it's time to actually turn for the Baron. Cloud9 without much prayers at this point. Elder Drake means that they are gonna have a impossible task of fighting this team. And this is full build here on Ruler. And this Baron's going to disappear in no time as well here. The burn from the Elder Drake as well probably coming into play. And now red and white comes on to Ruler. Chakrams available. We're at the end game here. This is going to be a decent starting first game here for C9 here. They had a lot of good opportunities. But right now it's going to be like their last one, I think, here. Genji are going to look to finish, I think, with this wave push here. They've got the Elder Drake. They've got the Baron. They're going to be able to just, yeah, look at Ruler. Just stepping up here. Blue and white guns available here. Flames for AoE and the red gun for being able to just survive any dive. If he actually gets his Moonlight Vigil off with the red gun up, he's going to have extra health for this fight. Kick away from Clid. Gonna knock onto life. Chunk him down a little bit, but figure as long as life gets like a rotation of spells onto just Ruler, he'll do his job. That's all life really needs to do in this game or in these fights. Die for Ruler. Keep Ruler alive and die for him. That's your job. That's your job. Pretty much almost everyone on Genji. Alrighty. Minute left on the Eternal Drake. I think they're gonna look for another inhib. They're playing this very much by the book, by the rules. 2 minutes left on the Baron, so they're just going to keep walking this in here. Just keep using their buffs. Keep using the threat of... Ooh! Life is brought really low there by that super bomb from Sven. And now comes the walk-in. Here comes Baron buff. 3 inhibs down here. 40 seconds left on the Eternal Drake here. They could look for a quick fight here. We've seen more done with less time by Team Liquid. And Genji, I think, were the recipients of that lesson. Now BDD just stepping up, just zoning for this. He is going to be Mr. Bruiser Brawlery boy. We saw how much he could just drain tank, just lifesteal tank his way into it. And that's going to be his first Nexus turret down here. Sven brought really low here. It's going to be engaging. That's going to be an execution here. Klid's just going on in here to start this fight here. There's going to be a discoordinated jump on to Ruler, but that's going to be a step into the death realm for Perks, for C9 here. Just not able to get themselves together to find the engage to try to stop that push, but it was all but over. That'll be game 1 for Genji versus C9 in this best of 5 here for quarterfinals contention. We'll see you in a minute for game 2.